I'll do the deal subject to. She emails me back the next day. She says, well, I could do that. But on the other side of the coin here, so after I got that house, I knew from building my buyer's list in advance that, here's a guy whose grandmother just gave him $20,000 to move down to Charlotte to go to NASCAR Tech. And he wanted to put that money into a house so he could have some roommates and make some money, and he didn't have to worry about dorm fees. So what did I do? I sold the house with $20,000 down. Owner financed it to him. Of course, I put $20,000 on the price tag so that when he closed it, he'd have to owe me another $20,000, and then I just made him pay what the payment was on the house. So there was a deal. I made $28,000 on in 1 month, $20,000 when it closes, and it's just a way to create more money in your pocket right then and there. And those are out-of-state owners. They're very, very motivated. And the last thing I did is I just give people a test to do is owners of more than 10 years, or actually 20 years, because I figure if owners have been in their home for more than 10 or 20 years, they've had some life-changing events. Their kids have grown up. The house has gone up in equity. It probably needs some repairs. So if I start marketing them to them early, that I'm going to be in the front of their mind. And they can go to this site, infousa.com. It gives them a 2-day trial. Go and pull 100 leads for yourself and just market to people in your zip code. Okay, of course they're going to try and sell you, their service. I don't say don't do that, but just to show that, what I'm talking about is true. Go and pull 100 leads, mail them, and see the response you get. So I'm going to try and show you free stuff first before you even invest any money in all these marketing techniques. But it's because when you're targeting niches, you're going to get better returns. Mm-hmm. So let's just go on to the next slide here. Oh, and by the way, to mail these postcards out to people is, when I started, I used to sit on my dining room table because I was working from home, and I used to handwrite these things and lick stamps. That sucks. You can go to USPS.gov, mailing services. You can upload your list, pick the postcard with the little eagle on it that says urgent, and put money in for your stamp, and they will print it and mail it for you the next day. And I think it's like 18 cents a stamp because it's done online.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And just so everybody knows, they're listening to this today, after you and I are finished with this call, a little bit later on, I'm going over to proof the postcard, and then as soon as the proof is good, outgo almost 100 postcards today myself. So
yeah, and Brad, how long does it take to pull? You pull the list from the service. That takes you 5 minutes. You take that list and you upload it to the service. So now you've got 10 minutes invested in doing a mailing. Could people invest 10 minutes of their time each day to do one of these marketing tasks?
Absolutely. And by the way, when before I started in real estate, I was doing something a little bit different, and I did a 500 postcard campaign through upstate New York from my place in Canada, and that took nearly 2 weeks to pull together and then get everything going. And we were going back about 5 years ago, and USPS hadn't had this online yet. And that was a pain in the ass because you're self-addressing, or actually even took it off and printed it, but then you've got to get the margins correct at the